Hello, and welcome to the Sunday Dev Stream. Let me see if my mic is working. Looks like it's working. Looks like everything is okay. Suro Games, hello, and welcome to the stream. All right, so the first thing I'd like to do is I just implemented, oopsies. I just dragged something I should not have dragged. I just implemented a new little piece of art for a quest beat that I'd like to test. Actually, it doesn't really matter what my start settings are because I'm actually going to load a save. And I'm going to see how well it's working. Turn my audio up here because it does have audio. It's the first stream in a while. I think like a week or two. Because I have a newborn. And, you know, it's hard. It's hard to stream. It's hard to get like a 3-hour chunk. All right. So let me load up that save that I've made. Heisting. And it's going to take a bit of time to load. It always takes a little bit longer to load in the editor. Oh, you know what I should also do is I should make sure to update my category here. I don't know why Twitch always clears out the category every stream. There we go. Now it should be software. Nauseum, hello. All right, so just waiting for this thing to load in, and then we're gonna drop in on the middle of this quest beat. Sushi Fox, hello and welcome. Thank you for playing Eastshade, appreciate it. And thank you for joining the Songs of Glimmerwick dev stream. All right. Rock on. I'm glad it impressed your friend's daughter. Well, I'm excited. I too am excited for her to play it. Okay, here we go. So let's see. This is looking.
Don't worry. After you.
So she's kind of standing on the rug, and I wonder if she should be moved to the right. Let me see what schedule she has. Maybe it's fine though. Actually, maybe I want her even standing more on the rug. I don't know. She's just kind of like standing on the border of the rug, and I think that's a little weird. So let me look at the NPC. She is doing Zinnia to Dark Forest. That is very odd. That is very odd that that is her current schedule. I almost don't believe it. Oh yeah, schedule override. This is what it is right here. It's Zinnia Heist Music Room. Okay, cool. Major spoilers, by the way, of course. That's right, making quest beats. Not beats like music beats. Oh, awesome, Nauseum. Really appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Kind of you to me and my studio, and kind of you to her as well. Okay, she did not do the animations that she should do, which is kind of annoying.
Huh. That ladder would have been nice a moment ago. Right. Potion time. I'll go first.
Okay.
Good. We both made it. Noise, the other thing to know is that it's of the utmost we know. So, okay. Open and honest. I'm going to tell you some things to avoid any problems. Please don't respond. It'll disrupt my flow. And whatever you do, keep running. All right. I haven't told another soul, but for the past few months, I've questioned if what the sprites are trying to do is completely stupid. That maybe we don't have the numbers or the skill to eliminate the spores. I wondered if maybe fire was the answer. I wouldn't have done it, but I had doubts. Alright, next. I don't think cats are cute. I just pretend they are to avoid becoming an outcast. If we make it out, I'd prefer if you didn't expose me. Oh, there! I see the harp. Keep going straight!
Okay, so the harp is a little bit big, so I'll make it a little smaller. Actually, how will I make it smaller? So the scale of the prefab as it comes in is just 1. So I think maybe making the... Oh no. Oh, there's Harp of 6 clone. So maybe making the child sprite smaller will work. Yeah, I think that will work just fine. Okay.
Thank God. Let's get out of here.
Okay, that worked really well. And I never got to the edge, which was the issue. So Jenny had to do a bunch of coding stuff to make sure that...
I'll keep the harp safe until you bring your friends to the forest center. And in the meantime, good luck.
To make sure that that you couldn't actually get to the edge. So it kind of like tiles. Which is great. That's awesome. It's perfect. Okay, let's see. All right, perfect. And then the music picks back up, which is, I just wanted to make sure that works. So that is great. I'm really pleased with that. I think that's really cool. And it took a bit of time. It took like 2 minutes. It always feels a little bit fast with these sorts of things. It's interesting because pacing is hard because on the one hand, players they're so grubby. So many of them are just like, let me skip this. It's like, oh my God. So you don't want to make these things too long, but if you make it like 30 seconds and it's supposed to be this dramatic beat, that feels a little weird too. So it's hard to balance these things. But I think that was a good length of time where it was long enough to where it felt like we went on a little like midnight escapade. But it wasn't so long that I feel like players will be getting antsy. The grubbier of the players. Okay, so, right, the Harp of 6, we just want to scale down that mesh inside of the Harp of 6 because it's just so big. The Harp of 6 prefab. And the prefab itself is actually 0.3. But then when it comes in, it's 1. So, I don't know. It also, I noticed it had another... It definitely had another thing in here. I don't know what it was. Okay, so the cage, here's the cage, and then the Harp of 6 is inside of it. So if I scale down the Harp of 6 prefab to what it's supposed to be, which I think is 0.3, but that's crazy. That's really small. Yeah, ain't no way it's supposed to be that small. So let's scale down the sprite in the Harp of 6 prefab itself. I think that's the safest option, and I will check it. Okay, so the pivot is in the middle, so I just need to make sure I actually push it down onto the ground. I like to wait just until one of its little feetsios clips through that shadow and then move it up a little bit. Just to make sure it's as close to the ground as it can be. And that's already significantly smaller. I don't want to make it too small. Oh yeah, I understand, Sushi Fox. Yeah, there's a lot of spoilers in this stream for sure. I haven't found a good way to stream the work without spoiling everything. So I totally understand, but appreciate you stopping by and appreciate your support. All right, and thank you so much for the kind words about Eastshade. It means a lot to me. It's very kind of you. Okay, so just getting that foot right there on the ground. It should be significantly smaller. I'm going to check out that prefab and save. And then I'm going to run it again. I probably set the time scale a little bit faster just so I can get to that part more quickly. Oh, right. So I need to... Probably the most time-consuming part is just loading the damn save, because the load takes so long in the editor. Goes a lot faster in the standalone. Fine Apple Juice, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate that. Man, Phoenix made a new main menu song and it's too good. It is too good. It is redonkulously good. All right, here we go. So I'm going to see if she still does the same animation. It seems like she did a fidget right at the wrong moment and that sort of messed things up. Ah, see, she didn't do the fall animation. I don't know why she doesn't. I've seen her do it many times, but I don't know what's stopping her now. It's very annoying. But the joke still lands. It's because the player fell down. I think the joke still lands. 5tac3y. Really appreciate the follow. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and... Well, first of all, I am curious how big this prefab is. So while this is running, I'm just gonna check out the prefab and take us out of 2D mode here. Oh, the prefab is fairly small, which is awesome. Yeah, it's not even that big. Cool. How big is the plane that we're on? It's the expanse tile. Does it actually have the plane inside of it? Yes, it does. That's extra cool. That is super cool. Oh, heck yeah. Okay, that's great. All right, let's go. I'll go ahead and set the time scale to 3. That will just make everything go really fast. Oh, but these are actually timed to the audio clips. So given that the audio clips don't speed up. Oh, no, they're not. They're going. It's all good. Oh, it seems to be triggering repeatedly, which is interesting. Let's see if it still works. Okay, so that still worked. Set the time scale back to 1, and here's the harp, and it's a much more reasonable size now. Okay. All right, perfect. We're good. So the harp scaled down, and everything worked correctly. Fine Apple Juice, thank you for the kind words about Eastshade. All right, I'm really glad you liked the demo. Very happy to hear that. Puts a smile on my face. Thank you. And it's always glad to hear from people who like both games because they are very different. I kind of assumed we'd be completely starting over with our fan base, but that doesn't seem to be entirely true, which I'm happy about because I really do think that the games have a lot in common. Okay, so that's great. I can't think of anything else we need to do on that beat. I think that we're done. I think I should just check it in. The only other thing, I do need to push an update. I made some changes to the localization that I need to push live onto the demo branch, but I need to test the game up until music class at least, because we put a bunch of crap in music class. And when you put a bunch of stuff in a room, then I feel like it's very regression prone. So I just need to make sure all that stuff is working. Okay. Anyway, this is going to be called the heist work music class trapdoor. Submit that. And I guess we'll do default start settings. Do I really need to play through all the way to music class? It's going to take like 30 minutes to do that. But I feel like I have to do it. Oh, I'm backwards. Okay. Just worried that there's going to be some kind of regression. And I'm worried to use the music class start settings because our start settings have become unreliable. They're so old at this point, which is kind of a problem. You know what? I'm trying to think if I should just use the music class start settings to test the music class. No, the safer thing to do, it's been long enough, there's been enough sort of turbulence in the build that the safer thing to do is to play it from the start. So let me go default start settings, which I'm already on. I'm going to go ahead and save all the scenes. There's kind of a lot of people in the viewers. Well, for me anyway. So maybe some of you are new. If you're new to the stream, we're working on a game called Songs of Glimmerwick. It's a Witch Academy RPG where the magic of the world is music. If you want to check out our Steam page for it, I just linked to it in the chat if you want to go take a peek at it to see the sort of high level look at what we're actually doing here. All right, so the other thing I need to do, I'm going to make a new version for the build. Go ahead and check out, go 0.481, and then we'll save project because we've made some localization changes and some other bug fixes Jenny did as well. So that means we need to play the demo from the top. And you know, I should probably even do it in standalone, might as well. I'm fairly certain everything's going to work. It might be more prudent to start from the music class, because at least if we just run the music class start settings, then we'll know if there is a bug with the music class and it's 100% repro, and it's because of all the crap I just added into the room with the trap door and the new rug that folds out of the way and all this stuff, then I'll see it right away and I'll save myself some time. So I should probably do that first. Let's catch up with chat here. Different in some ways, but both feel cozy and comforting. That's good. I'm glad. All right. Visually stunning is good. We like that. Dago says, for such a large project, how do you structure the files to not get lost in the assets? Did it develop since Eastshade? We don't really usually get lost. I mean, every once in a while I'll get stuck where I can't find a particular conversation or schedule, but I just really rely on the scenes themselves. Like in this particular game, all the interiors are split up into prefab, so I can just open up the prefab and I can just click on something, you know, to find out what asset it's using, and then I can just look at all the assets it's referencing. Like if it's referencing, you know, some quest beat or something, that script for that quest is going to be referenced somewhere. So then I can just always hunt it down like that. All of our NPCs have their own NPC datas, and every NPC data has every single schedule that it ever uses in, you know, connected to its NPC data, and every single conversation that it ever uses. So I don't know, we kind of just, I don't think files like Windows directories matter at all. In fact, I feel so strongly about that our models folder and our texture folder, I have one folder for every single model in the game. It has thousands of models in there. And same with the textures, literally thousands of textures in there. I don't organize them. I don't go like wood textures or interior textures or anything like that. Who cares? I'm never, ever, ever, ever going to use those directories. Because if I want a particular texture, I mean, I touched every single part of this game, so I remember how all the rooms look. So if I'm making something new, I think, Oh yeah, you know that wood texture that's on the floor in the newt's eye. Let's go see what that one is. Maybe I'll use that one. Then I'll just go into the newt's eye and click on the floor. And then I just look at what texture it's using. I'm like, okay, I'll use that one. And I don't even know where it's really living. I mean, it should just be living in the textures folder. Sometimes they find their way into weird places, but I don't care. So I don't really rely on Windows organization very much. Oops, I can't miss my first music class. We already have the music class puck going, so let me go to the music class now. Okay, so I've just got to run through this really quick. Okay. Yeah, I do think data organization is very important, but not in the file structure. It's not important. I think it's more important in your code base, in the way that you lay out your data, in the way that you use data, in the way that you connect the data to each other and stuff like that. There's a lot there. Okay, see? Look at this. I messed it up. This should not be here. Okay, I'm going to jam through this, and I'm just going to make sure that the collision itself is okay. Unfortunately, it's not going to be a very fast way to get through this cinematic. Let's see if I can skip through stages. We try not to hold it together with duct tape, Raisin Bran cereals. No, I actually feel pretty good about the code base for this game. East Shades was a little bit not great, but the game was also a lot simpler. This game is a lot more complicated. But it's the sort of core structures of data and everything are, I think they're really good. I mean, I think we make great progress, and we are able to change things and iterate on things, and our quest systems are really flexible, but not too flexible to the point where you feel like you're having to relearn all this crazy crap every time. Sometimes I feel like people put too many features in their systems.
Hello, Professor. That will be...
Well, you'll be learning many... I'd like the chamber. Great to meet you.
Okay. So I'm just checking the collision. So I'm not falling through the floor, which is a good sign. Great. So it's really just this thing. We just need to get rid of that. And then we'll be good to go. So I'm really glad I tested that music class. I would have gone through the entire game. And just... then we would have run into that bug. And it was a stupid one, so... it's good. Good devs use spaghetti. Oh my goodness. Oh boy. All right, so let me look at the music class interior. And this is the, so okay, this is the problem. The mesh is just right here. I mean, I just cut this, I built this right into the mesh. So obviously we need to change that. What is this? This is called heist trap door, which I believe has, oh no, it does have this. This was just parented to the wrong thing. That's it. Oops, cannot save. Right, because we didn't check out all the stuff we need to check out. Very stupid. So we need to check out music class interior in Perforce. Music class interior.blend. And then we also need to check out a couple of files here, the heist trapdoor and the music class interior. So let's go heist trapdoor. Let's check that out. And then the music class interior, check that out. And now we can save our Blender file and run the exporter. It didn't succeed, which probably means that there's some other mesh here that, some other dummy. Yeah, I already see it. What is it, by the way? Is it something we need to worry about? Rug 6 folded. Probably not. I don't think we need to re-export that. So I'm just going to mark those all to not export, save this, and then run the export again. Now it worked. should have overwritten that. And I think we'll see no change. But there was a change, and that's that this trapdoor stuff is now hooked in to our heist objects. So I'll check out this. Not that I really need to. I don't even think I made a change to this. But let's run the music class again. And let's make sure that we actually fix that. And then I'm going to kick the build, and I'm going to play through a little bit. I don't know if I'll play all the way to music class, but I'm going to play a little bit of it because I am pushing a live build onto Steam. This is one of my least favorite parts of game dev is actually pushing the live build. It's just so stressful, and I feel like I can never test enough. I mean, I feel like I don't test as much as I should, and I don't have the mental strength to just like run through 10 hours of the build carefully. That would just take a lot of time. That would be like, 2 work days for me.
Welcome to your first music course at the Etchery. I'm so pleased to see you all. Musical spellwork.
All right, rock on. Edmund, thank you so much for the kind words. Really appreciate that. Very much appreciate it. Your English is fantastic. Actually, if you can understand my English, I would love if you have any feelings on the Chinese localization. I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Did it feel like a good translation? Did it feel like the tone was correct? And was it legible? Was the font legible and all that? I'd love your thoughts on it because I haven't heard anything about the translations at all. And of course, I can't, I can't play the games in the other languages. So, Raisin Bran Cereals, I really appreciate the follow. Thank you so much.
With no hope of whichever it was, when the blaze died, something shifted then. The quality of the silencer's removal from power was quick. Nedeline, though it
Okay. I don't actually need to go through the cinematic. I was just kind of doing it by habit. But it looks like we've already solved the problem there. So we're good. We're good. We're ready to kick that build and run through the first few bits of the demo. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna go to the start settings and we're gonna go defaults, start settings, and we're gonna save everything. All right, and then we're going to use our handy dandy. Well, actually, oh yeah, we just saved everything. Going to use the handy dandy build tool, build demo. Jenny made this lovely tool that strips out all the data for the demo. No, it's not, I guess it's not going to be a development. It's just going to be no build options. And let's run the, oh, we can't, oh, right, main for demo needs to be checked out. Okay, check out. Hey, Nani asks, hello, by the way, asks how it's going with the new baby child. It's going okay. It could be going worse. It was very scary. I mean, I didn't know, am I going to be able to work at all? Like, what's going to happen here? But we sort of found a schedule that kind of works a little bit. But I do have some time to work. Not as much as I feel like I need to finish the game, but it's all we can do is just put our heads down and grind for our lives, work like we're running out of time, and hope for the best. So that's what we're doing. Yeah, it could always be worse. The baby, whose name is Cal, he's pretty reasonable newborn. I mean, newborns are really hard for me. personally. I feel like the whole waking up every 2 hours is extremely difficult. So we don't do that. Jack and I don't do that. I stay up all night with the baby, and I go to bed at around 5 p.m. right now, and then I wake up at around midnight or 1 a.m. and then I take the baby all night, and then she goes to bed. So we don't have to do that thing where we wake up every 2 hours like we're being tortured in some kind of sleep torture prison. And then I just work as I'm, newborn sleep a lot. So at night when I'm caring for our newborn, I just work while he's sleeping. But of course, he doesn't always sleep because that's how newborns are. And sometimes they wake up like every 30 minutes and I feel like I can't even get into anything because I've just like sat at my computer and it's been like 10 minutes and then I hear him crying again. And it's just like very demoralizing. But I also know that it's temporary and we just have to fight as hard as we can and see if we can finish this game and ship it. Edmund says, okay, it's talking about the Chinese localization. There's one instance where the translation doesn't display the text correctly. Instead, it's replaced with a square. Okay. I forget where it is. Only one instance. Okay. It could be worse, but yeah, missing character is not ideal. I'll have to rerun the... That's really good information. Thank you very much, Edmund. Thanks so much. I think I know how to find that and fix it. So thank you. That's very helpful. It says overall the localization is very well done. Awesome. Yes, that makes me so happy. I'm so happy about that. Yay. We use the same translator we used on Eastshade. I translated all of the Chinese reviews and none of them mentioned anything about the quality of the translation, which to me indicates a very good translation because usually people don't talk about the translation unless there's something wrong with it. So that's why we went back to the same person. It's like, this game has sold hundreds of thousands of copies and none of the Chinese players have mentioned anything, so it's probably good. Hey, Nani asks how my first child is adapting to Big Brotherhood. He loves our new baby. He loves him. He's always going up to him and like petting his head. And this morning, Cal was crying and the bigger one said, "Don't worry, Cal, Dada's coming to care for you." That's what he said to him. He's like such a sweetie pie. Yeah, he loves him. I think it helps that we have a lot of help with care right now. So Jacqueline's sister has been helping us. She's been watching Ollie during the week. And so I think Ollie doesn't really feel starved for attention right now because of that. He still gets a lot of one-on-one time. So I think that's why he doesn't feel so competitive with him. He has only suggested, Ollie has suggested once. It really wasn't, he wasn't angry when he said it. He was just like, "Mama, should we put Cal back in your tummy?" It was just more of a suggestion, It was like, "Have you guys considered this?" It was very polite. But that's really the only utterance we've heard of any. And I don't even know if he was actually upset about it. I think maybe he was just asking, like, could we do this? That's it. Yeah, Jacqueline's recovering really well. She's like way ahead of schedule. So that's very good. Yeah. I appear to be frozen on my OBS, so I'm probably frozen for you guys as well. Oh, you know what? I bet my CPU is getting clogged up because the I don't even know if you guys can hear me right now, but because the shader variants there are compiling, that usually takes a lot of CPU. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, he seems totally fine with it. Oh, that was weird. We got the Unity splash screen. Okay, so I've got to take a look at that. Edmund says, I was a little worried when I first saw the game's demo video, which showed a 2D world, but now I think it maybe surpasses Eastshade. All right, that's what we like to hear. Okay, yes, it's very late. You better get to bed. Well, thank you so much for the kind words. Really appreciate it. And thanks so much for dropping by the stream. Awesome, awesome. I'll pass on your your review to our Chinese localizer, I'm sure he will like to know that that at least one player thought the translation was good, so that's great. And of course, the missing character, that's on me. That's not on him, so I'll fix that. Okay. All right, let's see if we can do this. Test. Okay. Don't know why there was a splash screen. That's very concerning. I don't know why I'm selecting a hair like it matters. Okay, let's go.
In the beginning,
Okay.
the universe hummed
I will set the time scale.
Island, I take. Right, move. Oh,
And this is no way to play the game, but
well,
it's just so much more time efficient for me. Just making sure everything works, because regression bugs are so... I just find them impossible to foresee. Like, I don't know if there's some system of game development that can protect against regression bugs, but I have not found it.
hello,
And I assume,
you understand?
pretty sure that there isn't. Because I'm pretty sure that people just test the crap out of the game,
Well, I don't town isn't far from.
and they just test every release. I wonder if like AAA companies even test every release. I bet they don't. They might do a little bit more than we do because they just have so much more money than us. They can have people on staff full time.
Welcome to Whisk.
Okay, that's looking good. All right, cool. So far, so good on everything.
And now you've met. Care for a pretzel?
I think that's it. I think we're good. Yeah, I tested the music class separately and I tested the beginning of the game. Everything seems to be working. So the only other thing is I actually do want to try to fix that Chinese character right now because I do want to push this build live. And then I also want to check out that splash screen. So that's two things. So let me go to the project settings and in the player, look at that. Show splash screen has managed to work its way back in again. I would have never turned that on. I don't know why that's on. It's so weird. I guess I got to do that every time. Okay. This should be the normal speed in games. Oh boy. All right. Okay, cool. So that's saved. We shouldn't have a splash screen anymore. That's done. Then the only other thing is I need to generate... I wonder if there's been updates to the loc sheet. There's probably haven't been. Actually, I could check the version history on the loc sheet. Yeah, we could just go like... Actually, I'll do this. I don't really think it matters. Okay. View. I can't ever remember where the version history is. Here we go, version history. So let's see the version history. Has anyone done anything to this? So we do have some anonymous users that did stuff to it on May 7th. That's the day my son was born. So I definitely have not pulled anything since then. Oops, there's no changes though. Let's see. So there's a few changes there. Oh, there's actually quite a few changes on May 4th, but I think I already pulled that one. Yes, I believe I pulled, let me check in Steam. Songs of Glimmerwick, when I actually made the post. I think it was like right before localization update, my baby boy was born. No, I actually made the post after he was born. So I'm pretty sure I have that included. So that means it's really just this change and these changes. Oh, there's actually a bunch of Russian changes. Well, who knows how many, because I think they pasted over the top. So I should probably pull this. We should probably pull this. Let's pull it. It's fine. Let's do it. Okay. Yeah, I played Final Fantasy IX with the with some of the speed boosts. I really liked it. I mean, that game has so much grinding in it. It's terrible. So it's a little bit offensive to my modern sensibilities. Okay, let's download that TSV. I mean, even at the time, the first time I played it, it was way too much grinding for me. This is called Master Loksheet. Yeah. And then I need to check out the one we have. I hear the baby crying. I feel like I should go look at that. Oh, I messed this up. The baby cries for 1 more minute. I'll go help. Okay. Master Loksheet, that's what we need to do. That's exactly what we need to call it. And then assets, data. Okay. Yep, we have it checked out. And then I need to overwrite this one. Oops, it didn't overwrite. That's bad sign, undo. So where is it? Where is this thing? The master Loksheet is inside resources. So it's actually an assets resource. It's not in data. There we go. Now I'm going to overwrite. Should ask me. Perfect. And then I do have to go into this, edit, and I just have to remove simplified from the header here. It's very annoying that I have to do that. I wish I designed it a little differently, but I'm in the habit of it now, so it's all right. Yeah, it's funny that we all do that, though. I mean, it does tell you something about how flawed those games were in so many ways. Like some of the old RPGs, and maybe it's different when it's really is the new hot thing that maybe you're just so much more willing to fight through that, and maybe it's being an adult now or something. I don't really know, but I don't even care about the combat in Final Fantasy IX. I literally cheated my way through a bunch of battles. It's just like, I don't care about this. Like, I just want to go on my adventure, and do all the things and go to all the towns and have my adventure. Yeah, could be that. Could be that. I actually never beat Final Fantasy IX as a kid. It was too much for me. It was too much. Like, I wasn't going to keep grinding on that. Yeah, it's so easy to bounce off some of those boss fights for sure. Hello, by the way, Gary Dean. Okay, so we've replaced the master Loksheet, and I will test it. But the next thing I need to do is I need to regenerate the font. So I'm going to open this unique Chinese characters. And then I'm going to open actually, we'll go to our Loksheet and I will copy the entire Chinese column. And I'm going to go to our unique Chinese characters, Control A. So I'll check out how many lines we've got. We've got 4,500 lines, and then Control V. Oops, we need to check out this unique Chinese characters. Control V, there we go. Okay, so we've got a different amount of lines here, but it's still around 4,500. So this should be the fix. So I have not explained what I'm doing. I have a text file called unique Chinese characters. For people who haven't localized a game before, for specifically for Chinese, very rarely do games have every character in the Chinese language in their font, because there are just so many characters. There's like, I think there's theoretically infinite because you can combine characters, but there's like over 10,000 characters. So usually you have some script that figures out exactly what characters you need in your entire game text, and then you generate your font based only on the characters you need. And then you have some sort of dynamic system to render any characters that you don't have in your game text, specifically for if like the player can type in their own name. But obviously I haven't run that thing recently enough because Edmund, who was a Chinese player, came into the stream and said that they saw one missing character, one tofu character. Tofu character is that little square that shows up when your font does not have the character. So I need to run it again and make sure we have all the characters, because I want the localization to be absolutely amazing. Let's see here. Chocolate Chicken, thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate that. Gotcha. All right, so now that we have that, we need the Chinese font stack. Gosh dang it, I don't remember. I guess we need to overwrite both these fonts, or maybe just the non-dynamic version. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just the non-dynamic version. So here we go. We have to go to TextMesh Pro. Oh, this is not the most glamorous thing, but once we get this done, see, we've got Next Fest coming up. We've got Next Fest coming up in June, which is so close. And once Next Fest starts, I've got to get my wisdom teeth pulled. So I really want all of our ducks to be in a row by the time Next Fest hits. I don't want to be pushing any updates on the demo, because I'm going to be literally unconscious. And then I don't know how many days I'm going to take to heal. And I've never been under anesthesia before, so I don't know how I'm going to respond to that, or how I'm going to recover from that. And yeah, I want this all to be done before that day. What a crazy year we're having. The TextMesh Pro font asset creator, that's the thing I need. And we want our, not the custom range, but we want custom characters from a file. And then we need to get our unique Chinese characters file. Oh boy, I don't remember the resolution of the font asset, which is annoying. Something I really dislike about the font asset creator for TextMesh Pro is you can't like save these settings anywhere. It's so crazy that every single time I'm regenerating it, it's like I should be able to save this window as an asset somewhere so that I can have the same generation settings. And if I need to update it, because there's a lot of stuff you can change here. Very annoying. Maybe the updated version has it. I don't know. Enemy says, are you being fully anesthetized or just laughing gassed? No, you go completely under for the wisdom teeth. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's full. Like I'm going to not remember anything. Yeah, because they're gonna pull out all four. And I don't think you can be even a little bit awake for that. Yeah. I'm not looking forward to it. Hey, Sarabati. Okay, so I gotta try to figure out surely somewhere. Okay, here it is, 2048 by 2048. Awesome. So at least we have the resolution. BRB. At least we have the resolution. Characters from file. I think that I'd probably leave all this stuff. But the base font is going to be this one. I'm pretty sure it's medium. Or is it semi-bold? I don't remember. It says the source font file is medium. So I'm just going to count on that. You know what I could do that might be a little bit savvy is I'll go to the main menu. And I'm hoping that when I open this scene, it doesn't get rid of this font asset creator. Okay, cool. It didn't. And what I will do is go to that wish list button and go to the text field. And I just want to make sure that the font stays the same while we generate. So there's our text field. And then I'll head over to our loc sheet. And we'll go to that particular field and I'll copy the Chinese out of it. And I'll paste it. So we've got all missing characters here. Which I actually don't know why that is. You'd think it would be using the font stack, but it doesn't seem to be. Does it only do it at runtime? That's weird. Well, like what if I put in Chinese font stack 2? Okay, so then it actually pulls. And that is the one we're using, Chinese font stack 2. Gosh, the spacing is so extreme. I feel like it doesn't need to be so extreme there. Oh, and we do have the bold on, so makes it, honestly, it makes it a lot more legible when the bold is not on, but also this is going to be a much higher resolution, so maybe when it's blown up, it works better. Anyway, let's generate the font atlas. And then I'll overwrite it, and hopefully when we overwrite it, it doesn't change the look of the font. All right, rock on. Thanks for dropping by the stream, Chocolate Chicken. Well, I can't claim to be a teacher. I'm actually not trying to teach anyone anything here. I'm just sort of working, just sort of doing my thing, and people can come hang out if they want to. But yeah, I definitely don't claim to be a teacher of game dev. But if folks are interested, look at this. We've got 3 missing characters. I wish, okay. It does tell us what they are, right? Oh dear. Okay, we've got font size 36. Looking at our SDF font here. What font size have we managed? 38. So we just lost a pretty significant amount of font size, which does not please me. Makes me feel like we might want to increase our resolution here, but it's already so big. It's 2048 by 2048. What character is missing though? That I want to know. Where does it tell me the missing characters? Because it says 3 missing characters. ID 13, ID 10, and ID. Are those the missing characters? D? No, that's hex D. Okay, so ID 13. We got to figure out what that is. What is character ID 13? What actual character is that? Yeah, I didn't think that it was going to tell me. I feel like we don't know what system it's using. What is character hex code D? The hex code for character. No. I want to know the hex code of D. Because this is clearly, it's not telling us the character we're missing. It's pissing me off. Okay, like what is Hex 2022? Just a bullet. Okay. Let me do like character hex code lookup. Let's see, Unicode character hex code. Latin? I don't know. I wish it was just, I wish it's just a little more specific about what it's even talking about here, because it's really not. So I don't know what it's telling. It's supposed to tell me what characters are missing, but I don't understand this. Very annoying. I guess we just hope for the best. I don't know what characters are missing. Okay, making a big old atlas now. It's taking a very long time to generate. Really, 7 passes, that's a lot. Okay, and now the font point size is quite a bit bigger. And I will check out this asset, and I guess I'll save over it. And now I know it's going to change because the font point size has increased so much. So, okay, completely went away. I'm pretty sure that there, okay, it's back. And you know, honestly, it looks a little bit cleaner. So maybe it's for the best that we increase the point size. I still don't know what characters are missing. And I don't know what characters were missing last time. Character table. I wish it would tell you right in here what glyphs are missing. Oh, here it is. Okay, so maybe we can actually figure this out by looking at ID 13, the plus sign. We're missing a plus sign. Seriously, you don't have a plus sign? That's crazy. All right, well, it should use the fallback in that case, which is great, because I don't care about a plus sign. ID 10 is going to be an open paren. So you're telling me this font has an open paren but not a closed paren. That is a little suspicious, but whatever. And ID 8226, which is probably going to be quite a ways down. Glyph search. Can I like put in the actual ID? Nope, of course you can't, because that would be way too useful. Because that, I mean, that's the data it's telling me. It's not giving me the character it doesn't have. It's telling me the ID number. So what am I supposed to do? Just click this a million times? It's so bunk. And you can't like skip to a page. It's just weird. Guess they're not considering it's a Chinese font that's going to have so many characters. But we're just going to click like freaking popcorn here until we get there, because I need to figure out what character we're missing. 8226. I need to figure out if it's just something dumb, like a bullet. It looks like maybe it is a bullet, and that's fine. Because if it's a bullet point, then it's going to use a fallback. It's going to find a bullet point somewhere in our font stack. But if it's a Chinese character, then our Chinese font is our only chance at getting it. So it doesn't even show the ID. It doesn't even get that high. So what the hell? All right, whatever. Whatever, I'm just going to trust that it worked. That's it. All right, so we generated the new font. I will exit out of this without saving. We'll just open game core. Don't save. Phew. And now we will kick our build. So we'll go ahead. Well, I should save project. Always save project. Tools. Build game. Nope, we're not building the game. We're building the demo. And we're going to have no build options. We're going to go demo settings, build. And then we're going to run this thing again. I'm going to test it, make sure the splash screen is not there. And then I'm just going to pop it into Chinese real quick and make sure that that's working, because there's a bit of turmoil there. And then I'm also going to check Japanese real quick. If those two things are working, then I'm going to push the build live to Steam. And I'll probably go BRB while I do that, just to make sure I don't put something sensitive up on the screen. All right, rock on. Oh, we caught kind of a lot of viewers for me. It's a lot for a game dev channel that I make absolutely no effort to make any sort of digestible to anybody. Just literally raw and wriggling game dev. So if you're new to the stream, the game I'm working on is called Songs of Glimmerwick. It's a Witch Academy RPG where the magic of the world is music, and you can play it right now. We have the demo out on Steam, and of course it's free. It's a demo. So if you're interested in checking it out, go check out our Steam page, see what it's all about. It's a very weird game, very unique. It's a game where the world is the star. If you like to be whisked away to another place, a very rich and detailed world that's a grand garden where there's something interesting around every corner, I highly recommend you go and check it out. The demo's a few hours long, and see if it's your cup of tea, and then you can maybe wishlist it if it is, and buy the full game when it comes out. That would mean a lot to me. While we're kicking our build here. Eunice, hello, welcome. Welcome to the stream and welcome to the chat. Okay, so it's going to take a minute. Just chilling. And while it gets to the end here, I think that my camera is going to start lagging out, because that's what tends to happen. Yeah. Well, I'll be very glad to get this build up, though. I've been sort of dreading it. I feel like the longer you go without pushing an update, the scarier it is to push an update. Jason, hello and welcome. Says, I imagine you hear this a lot, but I want to get into game development. I have no idea how to code or any tips. Tips on getting started in game development. I don't think I have any tips. I don't think I have any useful advice. You know, I'm so far removed from starting. I started doing game dev when I was 16. Well, I started doing 3D art when I was 16. I guess my biggest tip would be there's sort of like there's this new idea of like making games by yourself. That wasn't really a thing when I started. So you kind of, nobody really did that. You sort of picked a discipline. I mean, people did, obviously people did. But at the time that I was learning how to make games, at least from my particular perspective, making games wasn't something that someone does. It's something that people do, and there's particular disciplines within a game studio. And the discipline I chose was 3D art. So if you want to actually get into the games industry, I would recommend picking a discipline. If you have no interest at all in getting into the games industry and you just want to make games, then I would just start hacking. Just, pick a tutorial that appeals to you, that makes sense to you, and start working on it. And then you just sort of trust that the mist will clear eventually if you just keep hacking. But there's so many resources right now, and there's so many YouTube channels and blogs and all kinds of stuff. You just got to start hacking, and it'll be completely make no sense to you at all when you start. Like it won't make sense when you first start going through tutorials. It's not going to be like, oh, I get it. No, it's going to be like, what the hell is even happening? I don't understand this at all. Why am I writing this piece of code? Like, they're telling me it does this, but I don't understand why. And you just have no idea what's going on, but you just keep doing it and you keep hacking, and slowly, you gain little tiny pieces of information that the mist clears on. You're like, oh, I get it. When I put this type of data in between the parentheses, okay, I understand this one tiny little thing. And then you just keep on doing it. And then you eventually get enough tiny little tidbits to where everything starts to come together. And you just have to sort of trust the process. All right, so let's do Chinese. And I will actually, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and load a game. Catch up with chat real quick. Shine111 says, was watching the previous stream VOD and saw the ember particle glitch, turning them green and pink. I wonder if there's something in the scene interacting with it in an unexpected way. I wonder that as well. It would explain why you haven't encountered such behavior before. Yeah. Yeah, disabling other stuff. I mean, I was looking at it at the prefab level too, if I recall correctly, and it still was doing that. And there wouldn't be anything at the prefab level that was in the scene. So I don't know. But yeah. Yeah. I think I'll just have to let that one go. I mean, I did something and it looked all right, so just move on. But it does bother me. Okay, so Chinese looks great. Chinese looks really great. It always looks so, it is such a beautiful looking language. I feel like games look so much cooler in Chinese. Okay, so let's also, I'll put it in Japanese too. Japanese. This one always weirds me out to see options there, but this is what they put. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I mean, they put options. So this in Japanese, to Japanese people, they know what this means. All right, sweet. And this font looks a lot better too. I made a bunch of modifications to this font. I made the characters a little closer together. And I think it looks a lot better. So I'm really pleased with that. And it's time to push that update. Okay, Eunice says, so the answer is to dive right in and stay away from worries. Yeah, diving in is always the best answer. Like, absolutely, always dive in. Yeah, there's never worry that you're doing it wrong, or that you've got the wrong tutorial, or that you're using the wrong software, or that there is some other easier way to do it that would make the mist clear faster. Just dive in, sleeves up, boots on the ground, neck deep, get in there. That's the most important part. That's actually way more important than any other thing, for sure. Whatever software you choose to start with, whether you start with Unreal or Unity or Godot or whatever you want, the most important thing is just to start doing. I genuinely believe that. I really believe that. All right, so we've kicked that build. I'm going to BRB really quick and push this onto Steam. It should just take me a few minutes. All right, that took longer than expected because I couldn't find my phone to get the verification code to push the build live. But the build is live now. Is it broken? Maybe. Hopefully not. Hopefully I'll find out soon. Okay. So, let's see. What will we work on next? Quest beat. So the noise plane stuff is done. And the next thing I wanted to do, I wanted to check out the prank war. But before that, really, I should make sure that we've got a character in a game who needs to be able to wear a particular hat. So let's go to this character. Her name is Azara, Lighthouse Keeper Azara. Somebody has her checked out. Who? Who has her checked out? Probably Jenny, but I don't know for sure. So it's going to be Misaki December 2026. So let's go there. Should be in spine. And spine output. Dang, I can't believe that. Wait, no, that can't be right. December 2026? That's incorrect. That hasn't happened yet. I must have meant 2025. Very confusing. Okay, let's see. So this is actually checked out by Jacqueline. Let me go see about that. Beautiful. Okay, so that's fine. Now we just need to check out the entire Lighthouse Keeper Azara folder. Check out. We're just going to overwrite it. Actually, you know, we really should check in some of this stuff. We should make a new change list for adding hats. What is it called? The ugly hat or something? Ugly hat for Azara. And then we'll just put the Azara files on there. Temple of Silence interior. Oh, right. Okay, that's just from our demo. Okay, save with no files. What we'll do is we'll revert if unchanged on all of the interior files. Revert if unchanged. And then do a heist bug fix loc bugs and build kick. And we'll save that. And then we'll go find the Azara files, which are right here. And then we'll put them into the other change list. And then I'll go ahead and check in this stuff. Very nice. Very nice. Excellent. And now we've got ugly hat for Azara. So let's go find the source spine files for that. Spine projects. Misaki December. 1 second. Sorry, the fast BRBs are just if I have to sneeze and I don't want to be a part of, I don't want you guys to be a part of that. All right, so here is all of the December Misaki payload, and here we've got the Lighthouse Keeper Azara. I don't think I need all the images. I think I just need the spine file itself. And then I'm going to open that up, and then we're going to have to add that hat and give her the skin to put that hat on her head. Because that needs to happen for a particular quest, and she doesn't have that capability right now. She doesn't have any skins at all. So we're going to have to do that. So let's go find that hat. That hat is going to be with who? It's not the janitor. What is his name? The something keeper. The caretaker. Yeah, caretaker. Okay, cool. And the caretaker is inside of the October batch. So let's go find the October batch. And let's grab that image. We need that image of the hat. Should be somewhere here. I don't actually know what it's called. So I guess I'll just open up the caretaker spine file and check out the skin for the hat and click on it. And it's called the gross garment. So back to Lighthouse Keeper Azara, and let's get the gross garment. So I'm going to open in, oh, could I copy the file? Yeah, I guess I could. No, I don't want to use the Perforce way of doing it. I don't understand it well enough. I want to open in Explorer is what I want to do. Show in Explorer. And we'll copy that gross garment hat, and we'll head back to the Misaki December batch into the Lighthouse Keeper Azara images folder and paste that in. And then we just need to locate that same folder again in Spine. Oh, come on now. Close the models folder. Life dances. No, 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 no. Caretaker. Okay, I guess that one's closed. Misaki, December. Yeah, somehow got closed. Lighthouse Keeper Azara. And then I want to make sure to add it to Perforce. So I'm going to refresh this folder. Wait a minute. There it is. And stick it in there in that change list. I think we have everything we need now. The skins, I will add a new skin called No Hat. And then I'll add another new skin called Hat. And I'll go into her head bone, go into the setup mode, make sure I'm in setup mode. And in her head bone, I will add, I think I can just add a skin placeholder and call it hat. Okay, so you can't have an attachment. So I think I need to add a new bone here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I need to add a new bone. Or no, I need to add a new slot first. So let's add a new slot. So create new slot, and I'll call it hat. And then in that slot, our skin placeholder will go. And by default, in the no hat skin, we will put nothing. And then in the hat skin, we'll grab that image of the gross garment hat and stick it in there. Hat. Okay, and then we should be able to rotate it and translate it onto her head. It's a little bit small. I'd like it to be a little bit bigger just because we really want players to see it. And it should look absolutely ridiculous on her head because it's a ridiculous hat. Thanks, Plasma. Appreciate it. Oops. And then let me check the Twitch. Okay, very good. Everything's going fine. Just how low should it sit? I think we want to reveal the hair. Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. Barely looks like it can even sit on her head. It's such a large hat. But I think that that's exactly what we want. Yeah, we want it to look absolutely absurd. All right, and then going to the no hat skin, we have nothing, and the hat skin, we have the hat. So we'll export with the no hat skin by default. I'm pretty sure that's all we need to do. Now we just need to export. It should already have the file path set up for us. And we already checked out the file, so it's just going to overwrite the project exporter the following warning: skin has no attachment. I'm completely cool with that. And then let me go check out our Azara Lighthouse Keeper skeleton. You know, I thought I was going to be able to sort of sample. There we are. All right. So the default skin, we have no hat, and then we have a hat, and that looks correct. Perfect. I see the hat on her head. And then I'm just going to refresh, and I think we've already added everything there. So I'll go ahead and save the project to make sure that any changed materials or whatever get updated. Look at that. We had this data asset just got updated. And then I'll go ahead and submit that. And I think we're done with that. That went really fast. And we should have a card somewhere here about the temple or the lighthouse quest. Or maybe the sea temple. Something about the temple. Okay, we did that. Spell icon, sea temple. I think we should have a comment on here. Okay, and I'll just flag Jenny. I've added a skin to Azara hats. Also no hats, but I think using defaults will work fine too. And then I'll add a smiley face. And I guess maybe we move it back into Jenny's list so that she knows to do that. All right, awesome. Marvin's Good Life, what are you talking about? Okay, anyway, so we check that in. Hooray! Awesome. Now I wanted to take a look at the prank wars. So let's open up GameCore. And let's drop main in. And then drop exterior world in. And I want to see if we have any of these start settings in our start setting blitz. Yes, heck yes. Prank War, dude, sprouts, spots. So day 7. So I should be able to test each and every one of these prank wars now. Prank war. And then we just need to see what animations we need, and I just need to do everything to support those. Another thing, actually, no, I won't look at that right now. Okay, all right, here we go. Okay, so just popping into play mode. And hopefully I'll be able to see where we're at with this particular quest. I'll turn the audio up. Okay, so we're in the library. And I think I need to exit the library to start this. It's in the morning. I don't even remember the first beat of the prank war. I might actually have to open the prank war Google Doc. Dude's uniform sprouts spots. Okay. And he mentions it right away in a stub convo. Okay, so do we just need to find dude somewhere? Is that... You're not dude.
I'm so happy they allow cats on campus.
I don't know where dude is. Well, I think that there must have been a reason why the start setting started us in the library. I will go check the common room. So dude's not in there. It's gotta be in the library. My god, this song slaps. So good. I don't see dude anywhere in here though. Oh, there he is. He's right in front of me. I'm an idiot.
Don't say anything. Yes, my uniform is spotty. No, I didn't do it. No, I don't like it.
Okay.
You know, I actually used to be pretty good at potions before I got here. I think that must say something. About something.
Oh my god, the casting is so good. The actor's so perfect. He nailed everything so well. The lines are so funny. Okay, but anyhow, there's nothing more to do about that beat. That is just how it's supposed to work. So I'm just happy with that. Junaid, thank you for the kind words. Appreciate it. Glad you dig it. All right, so that's the first beat. So we're good to go on that one. Nothing more to do. Jacqueline already made the spine skin. Jenny already implemented the skin. Everybody has already done everything on that. So next, we've got day 15, first of summer. Let's check out what's going on this one. This should be the first one that we actually have to do something on. Day 15, first of summer. Game start setting 1. Okay. First of summer, game start setting 1. Oh, okay, cool. So now we should be able to see the prank war. Agyin, hello. Well, welcome. Says, what advice will you give to me to become a better programmer? I am not, I mean, I do know how to program, but I do not identify as a programmer. I'm an artist and my background is in art, and I've never had a job as a programmer. I do programming, and I did program Eastshade. I don't do that much programming anymore now that we have Jenny, our actual programmer, on Songs of Glimmerwick. But I don't really feel comfortable flapping my jaw, as it were, on becoming a better programmer. Okay, out into the Great Hall to see this beat on the prank war. Let's check out what's going on.
How did you even get up there? Why do you even want to get down? Stuck near the ceiling is a brilliant excuse to skip class.
Maybe you'll enjoy it even more than I enjoyed having a spotty uniform for a week.
This is not the same thing as a spotty uniform. And anyway, you can't prove that was me.
Okay, so here we don't have any animation support or anything. We also have some issues. Like, first of all, I feel like the cutscene needs a camera magnet. Second of all, I feel like their voices definitely need to carry to the edge, because that's a problem. We can't, they sound so distant because they're so far toward the edge of the screen. And I wonder if we should globally increase the size of the characters' fall off. I think that's probably a good idea. Other than that, so we just need, I think dude's the one that actually, who's in the Get Me Down?
Books are enchanted here. It seems like no matter.
Yeah, I think we need to globally increase the radius. Because their voices were so quiet during that scene. It also seems like they need some kind of stub. I don't know. The scene just kind of ends. Let's check out I'm going to go into the Great Hall. And we're just going to solve this one problem at a time. Feeling a little overwhelmed by all the things we have to do on that, but let's just do one problem at a time. First things first, the audio, because it sounded like you weren't even part of the scene. And then the next thing is the camera magnet. Let's get those two things done. Audio and camera magnet. Here we go. So just looking at your average NPC. So there is the audio. So you can see why they would be so quiet. So I'm going to open up. Oh, that's it for a second year. Let's get it. Let me check the audio fall off. 3D sound settings. So we've got, let's see, 923. Then let me look at the NPC base prefab. And if it's also 9 and 23, that gives us a good idea of what the audio fall off is like. Can't think of any reason why you wouldn't want it to be as big as possible. So it's actually a little bit bigger, 13 and 25. But now I'm considering making it even bigger. Should I just make it bigger for that one beat? I don't know. I don't know what to do about that. So like, let's go to the Great Hall. It was 1325. That's what it was. And I'm going to put an audio source roughly where I know that they were standing. So let's just add a new audio source. Audio source. They're like right here, and their fall off was like 1325. So that's why it got so quiet, because we need to go all the way to the edge. So if we had something more like 18, I want it to be full loud, really. I want it to be like 20, 29, or 20, 30. Even so, that is going to be just about full volume. Let's do that. 20 and 30. Yeah, that's what I'll do. NPC. Let's go to the base NPC and go to their base. Let's discard the changes there. I'm going to catch up with chat. Sorry, folks. Agene says, how did you learn programming for Eastshade? For Eastshade, I did dabble in coding a little bit back when I was working as a 3D artist in AAA games at home. I would just sort of mess around. I made some like Python text adventure games. They were very, very simple. Like we're talking like a couple hundred lines of really bad code. And I just learned a little bit about some of the basics of programming just because I was interested in it. And with Eastshade, I just started making Eastshade. That's how I learned programming. And I just knew what I had to do. And I would just sort of attack each issue with vengeance. Like everything I needed to do, I would just attack it with vengeance until it was working. So with the inventory, I was like, okay, I need to make an inventory. I did go through the basic coding tutorials. There's these really good programming tutorials that Unity used to have. That I think it was called like intermediate programming. So they're not on the website anymore. So I don't know what happened to them. I guess they're really out of date by now. But I thought they were really good. They just walk you through. They kind of assume you don't even know how to code. And they just walk you through, the basics of coding in Unity. And it just made a lot of sense to me. And I already knew so much about video games that I knew everything that they were talking about. So like nothing mystified me as far as like, a transform or a prefab or moving a mesh or rotating a mesh or, Euler angles or like I even knew a little bit like a shader stuff back when I was a 3D artist. We had to do shader stuff sometimes. And so I knew about like vectors and stuff. So I sort of had all the pieces of how games are put together. And so by the time I started watching those coding videos, it all made so much sense to me. And I only watched them once. Like I would watch them once and I would remember absolutely every single thing in them. And not a single thing like didn't make sense to me. I immediately when I saw him do something, I would immediately know like where I could use that and why you would do that and stuff. I just had all the pieces because I'd already been working in games for a few years at that point, and I'd already dabbled enough in other coding and stuff. I just had everything in place to where that was just the right time to do that, and it all sort of just came together, I guess. This isn't Metal Gear Solid. No, you've come to the wrong stream. So it was 20 and 30. That was the audio source fall off that we want. So 20 and 30. I'm just going to change it at the prefab level, and I'm going to check out this prefab and save. So there fixes our audio problem. Now I'm going to go to the Prank War scripts. Actually, first I'll go to the Great Hall and position a camera magnet. We'll position a camera magnet that hopefully will work for this. I'll turn on the Great Hall in our main scene here so that we can actually see what we're doing. Awesome. And now, so we have another camera magnet. I will duplicate this camera magnet and I'll put it sort of the middle here, and I'll call this like Prank War Cam Mag. And I'll remove the actual magnet portion of this. Is not important. It's just the camera we need. And I don't know if I actually want to tighten the field of view or just want to move the camera in. I think I'll try just tightening the field of view. Okay. And then I will set the priority to 100. I don't even think I need this other group. So I'll put Prank War Cam Mag VC Great Hall. And then I'll put a game object finder on it. And we'll do deactivate on start. This is that annoying issue where I can't see what I'm doing. So I'll just save that and then I'll back up and I'll adjust this camera at the prefab level. So let's go Great Hall. Interior. Come on, I select it. Interiors. And then let's find that camera magnet. And now I should be able to mess with it. And actually see what we're doing. So I think that's probably a good composition. Maybe we want to be a little bit closer. So I'll just move the camera a little bit closer. Wow, that's doing like nothing because we're so far away. Is that even getting closer? It doesn't look like it's getting closer. I'll just make it really close just to make sure this thing is actually working. Okay, it is actually working. Move it over a little bit, move it back a little bit. So I don't know how high. We can't float them too high because if we float them too high, I think it's going to be confusing as to what's even going on. If they're too far apart. But we do need a floating animation. So there's the camera magnet portion. We just need to get to the quest script now to do all the callbacks. I'll turn that off and I'm going to apply all those changes to our prefab. And I'll deactivate our prefab. I will copy the name of the camera magnet. And then I will look for the Prank War script. There we go. Check out that script and I'll crack that open. And let's see if we can find here, initialize anti-gravity Zale. That's going to be it. So here we've got apply appearance and then we've got a bool entered Great Hall. For gravity prank, Zale is floating, and I think we should use maybe the conversation. So show anti-gravity group. This is interesting. I wonder who makes this callback. And I wonder why these are separate callbacks. Initialize. Okay, well, it looks like this is the one because this is the one where we're actually setting the group and then show anti-grav. So here's the one where we're actually starting the conversation. And it does seem like we should wait another half a second. So I'm glad that we were easily able to change that. Then we've got the starting of the conversation and I can see that it's Zale anti-grav convo. So I could just look at that script and see what conversation we're referencing and just crack open the conversation. And we should be able to make some callbacks in there. Okay. So let's search for the script Prank Wars. There it is. And here is our conversation. So I'll check out that conversation and then open it. And we will put our, we'll activate our camera. Oh, you know what? I wasn't supposed to deactivate. I was not supposed to deactivate the camera. It deactivates itself because it needs to be registered to the game object finder script. So go ahead and save that. Beautiful. And then I just need to remember how to do this. So I'll just look at another conversation where I know a camera is being activated. Music class. Music class 1 is a conversation I know there's a camera being activated. There it is, game object set active. So I'll grab that and then we'll paste that right at the beginning of this conversation. And then I will get the name of the camera, which is right here. Copy the name of that camera and paste it in here. I might as well make this a new line. It'll just be easier to read. Okay. And then we should be able to just deactivate it at the end of this conversation. And I almost think that every NPC needs a looking up animation for this to work. Otherwise, it's just going to look a little weird. I don't know why this conversation is not looking like it's changing. But let me go ahead and I'll just do a Control S on this whole thing. Okay, and it's definitely Zale who needs the animation. So now we should move on to the animation portion of this. So we're going to need spine. Oh, I will save that. Dang it. Oh man, I don't know if I saved that. I don't think I did. Okay, let's check out that lighthouse keeper thing again. Let's check this out just to make sure we saved it. Let's check that out. And then let's check out our main rig update file, which is just our main rig for that Zale should be on. And I'll also check out the output so that we can export this. Main rig updates. Oh no, this should be like official or player official or something. Player official. Yeah, here it is. So I'll check all that stuff out. Cool. And then we'll open our main rig update. Come on now. Here we go. And I'll go find Zale, because that's the person who's going to... Actually, you know, I do want to see if we can get a looking up animation as well. I know that like Clover is in this. So let's find Clover, who's going to be called Indy. And I just want to check out if it would be possible to create a new animation of her looking up. So let's create a new animation. And I'm just going to see if it looks weird. Look up. And I'm only going to set one key in the entire thing. And it's just going to be of the head looking up like that. Okay, so on Clover, it doesn't look weird. But I think that possibly on other people, it will look weird. It looks a little weird when her chest is pitched back like that. That looks a little more normal. But the more I tip her head back, the more strange she looks. It's almost like we need to take the translate on the bone and move her head forward, which is fine. I mean, honestly, yeah, what's the problem? I can do that. It's fine. Okay, let's do that. Let's just see if it works on everyone. I don't remember who else was there. How does dude look? So let me pin the uni and then look at dude. Ah, he looks great. I mean, his hair is a little weird, but it's just one scene. I think it's going to be fine. Okay, well, we'll just see how that works. I think we can add that as an add animation. Okay, sweet. So we'll just copy the name of that animation, and then I'm going to go into the anti-grav prank schedule, and oh, unfortunately we don't have that animation for the other angles, which is somewhat annoying. But just to make sure that it works, I will add an empty animation track, just so it doesn't give me any sass. It doesn't give me an error. Oops. Add a new animation, look up. And I think it would look weird if I tried to, yeah, like that's not, well, no, it just kind of looks like their head is cocked, right? So I don't know if that's going to do us any favors. Yeah, I think that's too weird. We're just going to make sure that they are that they are facing the correct direction to make sure that we're getting the 3/4 version or the side version of the lookup animation. I think that's our best bet. But I do want to add these empty animation tracks. These empty animations with empty tracks. Okay, save all that. Cool. No problem. And what we want to do is face him to the right. Okay. And then we've got Zale. And Zale is going to be the one that is floating in the air. And I want to make sure he's facing to the right too. I don't know why his doesn't have a transform, which is concerning. The forward, it doesn't have there's a forward, some kind of forward to work with. We will try to face him to the left. Okay, and we'll set dirty. Yeah, and I don't think we can make him floating in the air very easily. So, or like, we don't want to move that destination up high. We just want him to be floating in his animation, which I think will work just fine. All right, let me catch up with chats. Junaid says, extremely late here, so gotta go. All right, thank you for dropping by. Appreciate it. And thank you for the kind words. Rock on. Thank you, thank you. All right, you have a good day too. Black Skull says, first time catching the stream live. Well, thank you for dropping by, Black Skull. Thank you for kind words about the game. Appreciate that. All right, and I'm really appreciate you playing the demo, and I'm glad to hear that you liked it. And thank you for the congratulations. No, it's not manageable. It's like death. But eventually, we'll ship the game, and then maybe we can chill a little bit. It's just temporary. It's good to suffer every now and again. It's good to crunch. I like crunching every now and again. I feel like there's seasons of life, and this season of life is Death March. It's time to Death March. So I want to go to like Indy's destination and add that lookup add animation. So here's the add animation. And as long as there's no key on her head, it should just overwrite. But there might be a key on her. Actually, I think there is a key on her head. So I don't really know what it's going to do about that. We'll just have to see, I guess. Set dirty, go to schedule. And then here's Mary. Save that. And we'll give her the add animation look up as well. Okay, cool. Set dirty. I think that maybe we shouldn't, if they don't have conversations, and they don't, I think it would be a little bit weird if people just went into their stubs for this. So I'm going to make them like non-interactive. I think that's the best option. Yeah, I'll make them non-interactive. And hopefully that's just temporary. Yeah, it should just be temporary. And like, yeah, Zale should definitely be non-interactive because he's floating. Just want to make sure that that change actually stuck. I forgot to click set dirty. Okay. And yeah, I thought it was just really weird that you can just talk to dude while he's down there. So I'm just going to make him non-interactive. Okay. And as far as Zale goes, we're going to have to make, give him the animation prank, floating prank. And then we'll just copy that animation. I'll set that dirty. We'll go back to the schedule. Okay. And let's do with Zale. It is on Zale, right? Yeah. Floating prank. Cool. So now we're going to go turn off these ones, and it should just be on the one, Zale. And we're going to try to make him float. And to make him float, I think I can just raise the hip. I think that'll be the easiest way. So we can just get him to float. Even that might be a little bit confusing. So I don't think he should float that high, maybe just a little bit high, like this. And now we'll go ahead and set a key there. We did make a new animation, right? I don't remember actually doing that. Nope, I didn't. God, I'm so stupid. So stupid. Let's make a new animation. Floating prank. Oh man, it's been so, we have needed to do this for so long. And it feels so good to be doing it. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that feeling of just actually doing it, doing the thing. You're getting it done. Been thinking about getting it done for so long, and now you're getting it done, and it's great. So let me see what I can do here. Having him float like this. So it looks pretty weird when his arm is out like this. So I'm just going to keep his arm kind of down. That looks like he's floating. And if I move his head, I think does look a little bit weird. But if I translate his head back into position, there, I think that looks more normal. I think it's that chin shadow just doesn't, when it doesn't work, when it doesn't line up, it looks a little weird. But that's a pretty cool floating animation. Definitely his cloak. This is a major opportunity for his cloak to float around. We've got some weird stuff going on here with the cloak. I'm just going to try to translate this to see if we can. That seemed to work all right. I just want to make sure every single one of these has a keyframe. Yeah, we'll just set a key. Tempted to set a key on every single track. I guess I will. All right. And then, yeah, we'll keep that pose. I don't really need to make the animation too long. Doesn't need to be like the best animation in the world, just that it gets the point across. That was a raid sound, if I've heard one. Oren, thank you very much for the raid. Appreciate that. Very kind of you. Hello. Welcome, welcome, everyone. We're making a video game. This is a game dev stream. The video game is called Songs of Glimmerwick. It's a Witch Academy RPG where the magic of the world is music. You can check out our Steam page. I just linked to it there in the chat if you want to see what the heck we're working on. And at this particular moment, we're working on an animation of this NPC who is being pranked by his buddy, and he's floating in the sky, and he's like, "Get me down." Kuto Pin, thank you very much for the follow. Really appreciate it. So to make him floating, I just want to do like a subtle sort of bob. It's going to be a little bit weird with the IK, trying to constantly make his feet straighten out. I should probably turn off the IK. Why don't I do that? I'm pretty sure I can easily just key the IK to be off. Can I really easily do that though? So I don't see the control for the IK here. It's not at the level of the leg. There's got to be some kind of control. What is this? Foot fronts. Here, the IK target. So that controls the mix. So I'm pretty sure I can just key the mix itself to be off. And now, there we go. Now the IK is off. So now he really looks like he's floating. Cool. That was easy enough. I'll just do a couple floats here. Just up and down. So it goes up and then down and then up and then down. And I'm pretty sure he ends on a down, right? Yeah, so let's see. How's that look? Yeah, that's good. The only thing is I want the up to be a little bit higher. So I will push it up a little bit and then key it, and then I'll copy that keyframe to the other up. And then the other thing is we don't want this like sharp interpolation. We want the smooth. So that should smooth it out, and that should make it more smooth. There, and that works pretty well. I moved the key of this one thing, but I didn't move all the other ones. You see, I'm always doing this sloppy stuff when I'm doing animation. Because I'm not an animator. I've made a lot of animations in my life. Probably could have been an animator by now. I would just, I guess, dedicate more time and try harder. Which is not what I want to be doing. I have a lot of other things. I sort of just animate by necessity. Okay, so now he's moving a little bit faster. Give a few more frames there. And I just want him to be kind of like kicking his feet and waving his arms. So maybe I will do a little bit of like lag with his feet. And then after he gets to the top, as he starts to go down, his feet will start to sort of respond to that. And then once he gets to the bottom, once he's on, just after he starts to go up, his feet sort of get dragged down like this. And I might want to do his toes as well. And he gets to the top. Gets to the top, and as he starts to go down, then his legs start to drag behind him a little bit. That looks good. That looks quite good, actually. There was a little weird hitch right here that I didn't like. And what was that? I think maybe most of the problems are just because we don't have the correct interpolation on the lagging legs. Secondary motion, that's what they call this. So his legs are looking pretty floppy. I'm a little worried. Oh, that was a weird little lag. I didn't like that. Let's see. Yeah, it's kind of yucky how that works. It doesn't matter though. I need to not spend that much time on this because it gets the point across. People very clearly understand what's going on. I don't really know. I'm trying to imagine floating. I don't think I'd be waving around too much, honestly. But let's just basically put like some random motion in here. That looks really strange. I think what looks strange about that is that the keys are all sort of like he starts moving both of his arms at once. That first part looks pretty good. Actually, that didn't look that bad, but it was a little bit weird. Yeah, how they just kind of straighten out to that particular position. And it's really it's the fact that both of them are doing it at once that is weird. So if we just grab this key, I think, and just move it back. It's definitely a weird animation. It's not perfect. Okay, I want to do something with his feet here. Maybe just a little bit of secondary animation happening on the feet. So his legs look even more jello-y than they already do, which maybe is a bad idea. Okay, that's enough. I'm not going to spend any more time on that. Just going to make sure we've got the smooth. And then I do think we definitely need some secondary motion on his cloak here. That will be pretty important. Okay, then so it needs to start like hugging closer to him on the way down. And then on the way up, it needs to start flaring out a little bit. Okay. Looks pretty good. It definitely doesn't loop seamlessly, which I can never remember what to do with the IPO curves to get that to look right. So I just don't do it. Oops. So a lot of my animations just loop poorly. Okay. So as he starts to go down, I just sort of unfurl this a little bit. And as he starts to go back up, then I want it to sort of hug his knee a little bit more. And now I'll grab all the bones and put the smooth on. Bannon Rudis, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate that. Okay, how does this look? We'll turn off the bones. That's pretty good. Let's do something with the head. So maybe he'll just like, we'll put one key just to keep his head still, and then maybe he's like looking around, so he like turns his head down a little bit more for a second. And then he kind of holds that position. Actually, we really should key the translation of the head as well, because it just looks weird. Oh, you can barely see it even. He will turn it a little bit more. Okay, we'll copy that entire thing. And then he'll move his head back. And then maybe he'll do it like the other way. Maybe he'll like lean his head back like this. And let's see how that looks. Okay, that looks pretty weird, like kind of like his head is being decapitated. Okay, so that all happens way too fast. So I think we might just delete the decapitation one because that one just looks very strange. And then I think if we just slow down the one where he pitches his head back, it might look okay, but I'm not sure. Let's see. And then let's do smooth interpolation. So he's just floating. And then he leans his head back. And then leans his head forward. Yeah, I think that's probably better than nothing. Just have something going on with the head. And maybe he's holding it a little bit longer. And I do want, when he's holding back his head in that position, I want a little bit of motion, just a little bit of motion. So it's not completely stiff. Yeah, I think that's good. Cool. I think that's exactly what the doctor ordered. So I'm going to save that. And I'm worried that it's going to complain if we don't have some kind of animation track in the other. Maybe it won't. Maybe it won't. Okay, let's just save it and export it. I'm eager to see how this looks. It's going to take a long time to export, unfortunately. So I might just go BRB. Okay, I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, so let's see. Do we have any errors? No errors, just warnings. Very good. So in theory, if I recompile, and I will save this interior and back up. In theory, if I recompile, this should just work. But I'm sure I'm missing something. And the only reason I need to recompile to get animations to work is because I've noticed that since we have no domain reload, I've noticed some issues with the spine runtime not refreshing things properly unless I force a recompile. But recompiling does the trick, and it doesn't bother me. All right, cool. I hope that this works. Let's see. I'm color deaf. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Okay, into the Great Hall. Oh, and also Bruce Malt, I missed your follow. Thank you for the follow as well.
Get me down!
How did you even get
Oh,
up
the looking up looks great.
Why do you even want to get down? Stuck near the ceiling is a brilliant excuse to skip class.
Maybe you'll enjoy it even more than I enjoyed having a spotty uniform for a week.
This is not the same thing as a spotty uniform. And anyway, you can't.
I don't understand why. It sounds like these lines need to be... Oh, no. I'm confusing him with someone else. Okay, never mind. We're good. We're good. All right, that's a relief. Why didn't he do his animation? That's what I want to know. So let's check the anti-grav prank. I want to see the animation is Zale, and he's got animation floating prank. Why did he not do his animation? So let's look at our 3/4. I don't see any errors. I don't see any complaints whatsoever about not having an animation, which is unfortunate. Oh, rock on. You saw E-Shade before, Bruce Maltz. Very cool. Yeah, I've been streaming for a long time. I streamed a lot of E-Shade development as well. And thank you for the kind words. Thank you, thank you. Madtail Mike, appreciate the follow. So what is going on here? Right, so I wanted to check the player 3/4 rig. I will put official, not that that's gonna do that much. There's the 3/4 atlas. Here we go. Player 3/4. Okay, this should show me all the different animations we have. So I'm looking and I'm seeing, let's see, we call it floating prank. So it starts with an F. Floating prank is right here. I don't see anything, but the animation is there and it says it's 7.1 seconds long. So I don't see what the issue is. He's definitely in the 3/4 view. Like he's using the right rig. So I'm trying to understand why. I also want dude to be looking up. So let's just make sure he's got the same add animation. Oh, thanks, Kid Kerrigan. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, and I stream at pretty random times too, so it's always something different. Looking at dudes, where is the ad animation? There's animation. Here's an ad. So we just forgot to paste it. So there we go. Set dirty. Go to schedule. And we'll save that. That's great. So now he'll be looking up, which is really nice. And in fact, maybe dude should be a little further away from the situation. Like maybe here. And we could hear their voices, so that problem has been solved. I also noticed that there was a conversation that happened right after that seemed to break the camera magnet. So I don't know what's going on there. I'll need to make that not happen. Close that. Let's see, prank war. So we begin the conversation and then there's reset, but I don't know exactly what. Let's look at the callback. So there is no callback at the end of this conversation. So I don't even know how we would be moving on to a different conversation. Oh, right. No. This is my bad. I turned the camera magnet off at the beginning of the node. It should be in a function node at the end. I'm just being really stupid. Here we go. This is going to be perfect. Now everything will behave exactly the way we want it. Except for he's not doing his animation, so I just don't understand why. Go to anti-grav, we go to Zale. We have show transition, show task transition. Let's do fidget lock. Let's do position lock. Let's do rig direction lock. He's not interactive. He has no conversation or schedule. And it is floating prank. And we got the look up animation, so that one was working. This is the only thing I can think of as if the rig direction lock wasn't quite working. Or like he's like kind of in the wrong. No, it looks really good. He's definitely in the right position there. And if I go into the animation, I mean, this is clearly on the 3/4 rig. So I don't know. And we saw the animation had come in. So what could be the issue? Why isn't the animation firing? Rig direction log. Anim mix duration. I'll do 0.1 on that. Not that that will do anything. Show task transition. I don't think we want to do that really. I mean, it shouldn't matter, but I will make sure that's not checked. Floating prank. And then let's just verify that that's the exact string we're using. Floating prank. Yeah, that looks correct. I will literally copy it out of Spine and paste it in. Okay, nothing changed. It says animation. It's not an add animation, and it shouldn't be an add animation. I want it to overwrite all keyframes. So, I don't know. And it's Zale. I don't know. We'll give it a save. I guess I'll try it one more time. See if something has refreshed. I don't know. Really excited to see it. Get this next thing underway. Yay!
How did you even get up there? Why do you even want to get down? Stuck near the ceiling is a brilliant excuse to skip class.
Maybe you'll enjoy it even more than I enjoyed having a spotty uniform for a week.
This is not the same thing as a spotty uniform. And anyway, you can't prove that was me.
Well, that's just awesome. Okay, now you can't talk to any of these people, which is kind of weird. But there's really no good way to disperse this. This is odd that I'm like running into his character collider, so I think we'd like to make a way to deactivate his character collider. And I'm kind of feeling like he should be a little higher. But he definitely needs like particles, like really flashy particles that make this very obvious. I do think he should be higher. The iteration cycle on messing with these people, it's so weird that they're not even acknowledging this. Thanks, Kid Kerrigan. So you did Unity in university, and and you didn't go down that path, huh? Feel like he should be like somewhere up here. It's really hard to know compositionally, like, should he be above these mushrooms? That would be really significantly higher. Anyway, I'm really glad it's working. How are we going to add the particles? Because I think we might just be able to maybe add them as a child of his spine. No, that's not going to work. That's not going to work actually, because his technical position in the world is not where he is, which is fine. So I think we're just gonna have to place them manually and then just activate them to perfectly line up with the animation. What I want to check is if there's a way in the actual scheduler to disable their character collider. I don't think that there is, honestly, which is pretty annoying. Use laying collider. Well, that might help a little bit more. To get his collider out of the way. We'll use precision placement as well. Just make sure he's right where we want him. Oh, one way to actually change his position is to move him. Set dirty. So we don't want to do despawn. That's going to make him disappear. I don't think that there's a way to deactivate his collider, and we're going to have to write one ourselves, which is just annoying. Kid Kerrigan says, I have a degree in animation, but I'm a full-time VO now after stumbling that way. Oh, cool, cool. Rock on. Oh, boy. Well, that's awesome. That's very cool. I like crying on the floor a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. Can be frustrating though. So I can move him a little bit, and that should move where he ends up. But I don't think I can move him off the nav mesh, which is the issue. Like, I don't even think I can put him right there. In fact, I should probably check. So if I turn on the Great Hall interior and then look at the Prank War Cam Mag, I should be able to check exactly where the nav mesh goes. So I'm just going to click on the nav mesh here. Quests, test tools. Come on, where is it? Nav. There we go. Let's click on the nav mesh. Okay. So it actually does cut very close. So I can put it very close. Which is nice. But I think we already have it pretty close, so I don't want to mess with it anymore. I will add the particles to start, and then we're just going to have to go back and see compositionally where he is. The iteration cycle is going to suck on this, but we'll get it done. We don't have to do anything crazy here. Just stay the course. And let's get this done. Right. So back to the interiors. Let's turn this off. Turn this off and open. And I just want to place the particle in the world. I'm going to go steal the particle from, I think we have like a portal prefab. Portal effects. Catch up with chats. Awesome. Appreciate the support, Kid Kerrigan. Too much static. I am the East Shade creator. That's right. Thank you for checking out Songs of Glimmerwick. Okay, so here's our portal effects. And I actually think that it probably is, it's going to be pretty good start for our effects here. One moment, guys. All right. I thought my son was coming to see me, but turns out he actually just is looking for his stuff in my office. His markers and things. All right. So, perfect. So, we've got this particle effect, and I don't know. The swirlies, I don't really want the player to confuse the portal effect, but it probably won't look like a portal when it's behind. It looks a little intense. It looks like he's really it's like something really bad is happening to him, and I don't think we quite want that. Jacqueline probably has some concepts here. Okay, here we go. So she's got these like swirlies. I think those swirlies are probably a good idea. Those little spirals. Yeah, I think this is a little intense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unpack this prefab. And we're going to say like Zale prank float effects. And I'm going to remove the particle system. So portal home, we don't need any of this. Let's remove this component. Okay, so here's the one. Yeah, let's remove this one, remove component. And now we just have the glow ring and the spinning, or the sparkles. We'll call these sparkles. And I want them like blue. It's going to be pretty hard to make them blue. That's like green. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that the sparkle itself has some like red in it. So Jacqueline has it more in a purely blue direction. Got light particle white. Well, now I can't even see it, which is weird. Okay, no, I don't want that. That'll be fine. We'll just use that. But I have no idea if it's going to line up. So we're just going to have to run play mode and then see where he actually ends up and then place this thing there. That's going to be how we're going to do this. And I'm going to move this back behind him quite a bit because I do want it to be behind him. And that will help sort of separate him a little bit from the environment as well. That little glow ring. And I guess we really want to make it very eye-catching. So I will do another sparkle, we'll call it sparkle swirls. And I know we don't have anything like this, so we're going to grab this shader and duplicate it. And we'll call this like swirl, light particle swirl. And then I'll grab this texture and I will duplicate it. Oh yes, little creatures. We want them to love us. But it was pretty cute anyway. We'll call this light particle swirl. No, I'll just call this like Zale swirl. That's what I'll call this. And then I'll open this in Photoshop. I really should make a light version of this. So why don't I duplicate this and call this like white star sparkle. It does look a little cool, like white and purple, like it's... Okay, okay, okay. I'm convinced I don't need one. I'm deleting it. Back and forth. Okay, but the swirl we do need, so let's make this swirl. All right, so we've got this. Let's look at Jacqueline's concept. And it's literally just a spiral. So I'm going to grab... Well, let's just use white. And make a new layer and remove this one. Honestly, I'll make a new layer and then just flood fill this with black. Just so we can see what we're doing real easy. And then I will turn on the mouse smoothing pretty high. Just will make it a lot easier to make a clean swirl. Her swirl is a little bit... It's not like a complete swirl. That looks pretty good. Okay. And I'm pretty sure if I just make this go all the way to the edge, well, actually, I'll leave a little bit of room because maybe behind it we want some kind of blur or something. I'll just Gaussian blur the bejesus out of this. I don't know. Do we want to add like a little extra blue to this? Something like that. We'll see how that looks. Okay, so now we'll save that. Oopsies, doesn't let us save. Why doesn't it let us save? Because we duplicated the texture. It's probably read only. That would be my guess. But we have it marked for add. Let's see. Let's see what's going on here. Zale. Properties. No, it's not read only. So what's the problem? Zale swirl. Zale swirl. Just save it. It's a PSD. What are you doing? What are you doing? What's the problem? Zale swirl. Oh, it's not a PSD. It's a PNG. I'm an idiot. That's fine. All right. So then let's just delete the PNG version. Keep the PSD version. We don't want to. Hey, Werbus. How's it going? Okay, I can tell right now I'm going to want that glow behind it just a little bit more subdued. There. Okay, and now we should be able to grab the sparkle swirls, the material that we're using, and oh, no, we already have a material. So let's go swirl DW. And then that swirl, we're going to put in our swirl. Oh, we did have this swirl, but that swirl's a little bit much. Okay, cool. And we just want to not have that super blue stuff going on. And ambient factor 0.3, I think that's probably okay. Then I'll lower the brightness of that. And then the sparkle swirls. We will make, this is a very blue look. Okay, so we need to make, there's many changes we need to these. First of all, their start size needs to be way bigger, like between 0.3 and 0.5, or maybe even bigger than that, like between 0.4 and 0.6. I'm thinking some of them can even be bigger, 0.7. Okay, now they're flashing by really fast. Start speed, I'm just going to say that they never move. They're not going to float up. So their start speed is constant and it's 0. Their lifetime, here we go. So their lifetime lasts a lot longer. We've got this, something is pushing them up right now. There's this gravity modifier. Let's put this at 0. Okay, so they have a lot of lifetime. We need way less emission, like 10. 5. They really should stick around for a very long time. And they need to spin. So let's check out their rotation over lifetime. Their angular velocity should be somewhere between two constants. 45 is the lowest it should be. And like some of them should spin pretty quick. So here's everything working together. Okay, that should be pretty obvious. I don't think players will be able to miss that. And we can just, it should be an add shader, right? Yeah, it just goes away when it's black, so. We don't want it too bright. And I think that we have probably too many of them still. So I'm going to reduce the amounts. Still think we have too many of them. And if we increase the size of the emitter, which is currently a sphere, that will reduce the chance that we get them on top of each other. Don't want it too big though. Okay, that should be fairly impossible to miss. But we don't know what it's going to look like until we've got it in the game. So let's check it out. So I'm going to save, and I'm going to look for a bool that we can use. So entered Great Hall, can cancel gravity prank. Is Zale floating gravity prank is sets to false. That's when we reset it. And we sets to true when it's initialized. So this float is probably going to be the one we want. So I'm going to add a bool activation. And the game object we want to activate is this very object. And I will paste in that bool. And I'll give it a save. And let's go check it out. So just popping into play mode.
Get me down!
How did you even get up there? Why do you even want to get down? Stuck near the ceiling is a brilliant excuse to skip class.
Maybe you'll enjoy it even more than I enjoyed having a spotty uniform for a week.
This is not the same thing as a spotty uniform. And anyway, you can't prove that was me.
Cool. Okay, nobody will miss that. It's very obvious. I think, should he be higher? That's my only question. If he's higher, I'm worried that he's going to blend into the background a little bit more. I really wish that we could mess with him in play mode. I'm going to try. I don't know if this is going to work. But that would be very convenient because then we could get a better sense for where we want him. Oh, cool. Oh, hell yeah. Okay. Great. See, the problem with him here is compositionally, it looks like he's kind of on top of the mushroom's edge, and that's not what we want. If we put him up here, certainly more impressive because he's so much higher. I think that that looks better, honestly. But is he harder to see? Let me grab those particles and bring those up as well, because that, I think, is helping him stand out from the background a lot. And then we don't have the camera magnet anymore, but I think that that's a good spot. Let me ask Jacqueline compositionally if she thinks that looks good. I have to leave my stream running. She actually has me, she has my stream going on the downstairs TV so she can feel like she's at work while she's watching the kids, which is very fun. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so that is fantastic. Everything is groovy. She likes the placement, so I'm going to copy the transform of the floating, and then I'll paste it. It's going to be hard to get him exactly in that spot in the animation. We're just going to kind of have to guess, which is going to be kind of annoying. Hello, Roberto. Roberto asks, what's the coolest thing about your game? Well, the thing that I think is coolest is the world of Glimmerwick. And that's sort of our mission statement for our studio, is we want to make games that feel like places. And sort of the main design pillar of our games is that it's a place. And we put that above everything else. We put it even above the game mechanics, which is, of course, very bizarre and uncommon. But if you've played Eastshade, you probably kind of know what I mean. Our last title, and this game is just like that. That the world itself is the star, and if you like the world and you like being there, you're gonna love the game, because the game is all about just being there and meeting cool people and going on cool adventures in the world and learning about the world and exploring the world, and it keeps sort of opening up, and all the quests link into opening up the world and allowing you to get to new cool areas and stuff. And I'd say that's the coolest part about our game. So looking at how high he is off the ground, we gotta check out the hip and add exactly a certain amount to keep this animation intact. So it looks like he's 2,500. 4,000 maybe? I don't know. Can I do numerics in here? That'd be sweet. Plus 1,000. Oops, I did an underscore. Plus 1,000. Nope, you cannot do numerics. So I'll just change this to a 3. I don't think that's going to be high enough. Very cool, Roberto. Oh, I have a lot to brag about. We're using Unity. So if I guess I'll add another 500. And then copy that keyframe here and here. And then for this one, we've got to go, I think we added 1500. So that's it. I'll just put it into a calculator. Just so I get it right. Okay. And then I'll just paste that number in. Oops. What's going on? Why did he go lower? Oh, because of the comma. It's a European program. Okay, so we've kept the animation intact and he should be much higher. Unfortunately, the iteration cycle is going to suck on this because it takes a very long time to export. But let's just do it, export. I'm pretty sure I'd never pasted the transforms back here, which is hopefully fine because we're in Unity and I don't think that the Unity clipboard is the same as the Windows clipboard, but it might be, I don't know. So let's just watch the particles and paste component values. Hell yeah, okay, cool. I'm making a backroom survival game. Coolest part about my game is my rope. Very cool. In Source 2 engine. Wow. That's an unusual choice for sure. I'm thinking that we've gone too far. I'm thinking we pushed our little dude up way too high, unfortunately. Man, it's already 4:03. Takes so long to export. Well, you know, I think I'll call this a stream because at least I can go like do stuff while this is exporting and I'll get this honed in. Sorry we don't get to see quite the end of it, but we basically saw the end of it with how it looks in the end. So I'm really pleased with that. So happy to be finishing this. I want to thank everyone for hanging out with me while we work on this game. The game is called Songs of Glimmerwick. It's a Witch Academy RPG where the magic of the world is music. The demo for the game is available to the public. Go and download the demo and play it. See if it's your thing. It's on Steam. The demo is 2 or 3 hours long, and when the full game comes out, you can continue right from your save. So see if it's something that you like. I think it's going to be an absolute banger of a game. Many people are looking forward to it. We have 150,000 wish lists on Steam. So many people are waiting for the game to come out. And because they think it'll be cool. And maybe you'll think it'll be cool too. So go check it out. All right. Rock on. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thanks, everyone, for dropping by. Nice to meet you, Kid Cardigan. Thank you, Roberto. Really appreciate that. I hope you like it. All right. Well, bye for now, everyone.